Let me give you a quick rundown of the things we're going to be talking about today. Of course, the FIFA World Cup will dominate our thoughts. Some groups already concluded. We know some second-round pairings. And, of course, after the set of matches that will be played today, we'll also know some other teams that will meet in the second round. So we'll be looking at that. The fallout of today's matches. I don't want to let the cat out of the bag, but, on social media, it's buzzing. And it's all centered around one man that is usually in the news, and I'm talking of Luis Suarez. So we're going to be talking about that. Of course, we expect our man right here in Brazil, that's Toyin Bitoye, to join us later on the show via Skype. Well, and in spite of all that has been going on in football, of course, the third Grand Slam of the year started yesterday. We'll also be filling you in with what has happened so far, especially on day 2. But guys, let's talk about what is going on as we speak. 2 matches currently going on simultaneously. Tunde, you talked about some of these matches tomorrow. Japan will take on Colombia, and Greece will take on Cote d'Ivoire. You might not agree with me. Apart from Colombia, I still feel, the space, the spots can be taken by any of these 3 teams. Get your own result and the result elsewhere favoring you. But let's start with that. Colombia through to the second round.
Oh, yeah.
Probably just wants to cement their spot.
Of course.
But quickly, it's going on. 7 minutes played, is goalless.
Yeah, well, Colombia are leading this group with 6 points. Ivory Coast are second with 3 points. Japan come third with 1 point, with a better goals difference than Greece, who are coming up with the red with 1 point as well. The only team that is guaranteed of a place in the second round is Colombia by virtue of their 6 points. And you are right in some sense that either one of Japan, Greece, or mathematically could make it to the second round. But the best team that I think should have been to the second round should be Cote d'Ivoire. But unfortunately, and I think Cote d'Ivoire know exactly what they have to do against a Greek team that hasn't exactly, lit up any sparks. The government of Cote d'Ivoire has promised each of these players that they will double their winning bonuses if they beat Greece today. That is a massive incentive.
And do what they've not done at the World Cup before.
So if you are supposed to get $10,000, that's $20,000 per man to make it to the second round. And in the history of Cote d'Ivoire's participation of the World Cup, they've never been beyond the group stage. Massive incentive against a Greek team that hasn't exactly inspired. But that doesn't mean we should write off the Greeks. We saw they are decent, but a bit naive. We saw how they actually stifled Nigeria. A lot of people argue that Nigeria didn't exactly light any fires themselves. But the Greek team, they do have some talent. They do have some pedigree at this level. So I think Cote d'Ivoire know exactly what they have to do. Greece too would, obviously, because of pride as former European champions, will not want to lose to an African team. So it's very finely poised. Japan, I think they're just one of the disappointing Asian teams in this competition as well. I don't expect them to do anything against Colombia. A second-rate Colombian team should be good enough for a first-string Japanese team. Okay, all right. Let me go to Cosmos. In everything we've said, it took Tunde a while before you mentioned Japan. But let's talk about Japan. Mathematically, they beat Colombia and something goes wrong for Ivory Coast. It might just be Japan. They have a point. It might work. But talk about Japan. Talk about their chances. Do you see them pulling something off today?
Yeah, anything can happen in football. Who would have said that a team like Italy would have been dumped out of the World Cup? So
it has happened before.
It has happened before, but nobody would have said so. We all expected Italy to beat Uruguay.
Who would have thought that Costa Rica would top
better?
Okay, fine.
Yeah, better.
Exactly. Not just Costa Rica. It quite the two in their group and all that. But coming back to the match, Japan in the first game against Cote d'Ivoire, well, maybe it was expected. Maybe they didn't particularly come to the party, or maybe Ivory Coast really wanted to do well, and then they lost the game. So we all expected them to win that game against Greece, but then they were not able to win it. They have 2 points. They just need to win their game, their last game.
Actually, they have 1 point.
Oh, okay, yeah, sorry, they have a point and they need to win their last game, and hope that Cote d'Ivoire, something happens to them, probably they lose.
If Cote d'Ivoire lose against Colombia, Japan will be through.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But they have to beat Colombia by any scoreline.
Right.
Exactly.
All right. Okay, let's talk about this. I think there's nothing to say about Costa Rica and England. Let's keep that in the cooler. Apart from the result, we're likely going to show you some things later on, but let's talk about the result on the face value. Let's forget about the incidents for a while, but let's talk about the results on the face value. Italy and Uruguay. Something had to give today.
Yeah.
And it did happen.
Exactly.
At the first minute, Diego Godin stepped up, do what it normally does for
Atletico Madrid.
And they're true.
Well, Uruguay have, they've always been a tournament team. Those who tell you that, even at the last World Cup, they started slowly, but against all odds, they made it to the semi-final. At this World Cup as well, they started very poorly, losing 3-1 to Costa Rica, but they've now chalked up 2 successive victories. And those victories came when Luis Suarez returned to the team. It was instructive to know that it just shows just how key he is. Because let's be candid, despite the presence of Diego Forlan, Edison Cavani, and Diego Godin, he is still the talisman of the team. He is still their biggest asset, their biggest weapon. So I think it is instructive to know that Uruguay's performances improved when Luis Suarez returned to the team from injury. But having said that, they are now going into the second round with confidence that as Suarez progresses in the competition, he's also, his fitness and form will also get better. Let's not forget he just underwent surgery just 3 weeks ago, and he's not exactly firing on full capacity. So they are hoping as the competition progresses, and as his form improves, so will their own on their own performances in the competition as well.
And this is how it all ended. No one would have predicted this. But this is how it turned out. Costa Rica 7 points, Uruguay 6, Italy 3, and
Costa Rica too have never qualified for the second round.
But let me come to you, Cosmos. Apart from the game on the field, there was the incident. Many I could remember because Claudio Marchisio was sent off. At that point, the Italians were on the back foot. Before the Uruguayans got their goal, a lot of people will say Luis Suarez probably should have sent off. Another school of thought will say, okay, Giorgio Chiellini retaliated as well, so probably should have been both of them. But that, somehow, puts a dent. And that was the incident.
Yeah, that was the incident.
It was actually a bite.
It was actually a bite. While watching the match, I wasn't seeing it well. I was seeing from the fact that the camera was taking it from the back. I just saw that there was some sort of heat, like this point, from the back. But then looking at it critically well, you just had to see that Luis Suarez, I don't know what got over him. It was actually a corner kick. They actually went for the ball. They hit themselves.
A minute after this, the goal was scored.
Yes, a minute after this, the goal was scored. And you have to ask yourself, why did Luis Suarez do this? Why does he keep doing this?
Let's place the devil's advocate.
Fine.
Wait, Luis Suarez has particularly protruding dentition. He could have been running towards him and collided with him with his mouth open.
I thought about it. Funny enough, I thought about that because that was what I was thinking. But looking at it critically, this guy did.
It's a hard sell.
Why is it a hard sell? It's a hard sell. Does Luis Suarez not have protruding teeth? Does he have protruding dentition? Yes or no?
He wouldn't have to grab his shirt.
He didn't grab his shirt. Maybe two of them just collided and his teeth were open.
He did.
It's a hard
But I had to see that incident very well. He actually did.
But what do you think should happen?
From everything we've said, FIFA will now wait to see if this is included in the referee's report, and the disciplinary committee of world football, which is responsible for sanctioning serious infringements which have escaped match officials' attention, will sit on it. And if he's found guilty, any suspension could range from between 3 matches or up to 2 months. But it is still within the ambit of probability, possibility.
So it's very possible that.
But Chiellini was insistent and livid that he was beaten and the player should have been sent off. They say he had
torn.
I don't know. Look, I don't know. The shirt was not torn. Don't be. The player was pulling down his shirt to show that they had been beaten. From where I was sitting, I didn't see any bite marks.
At some point, he was trying to show the referee, and the Uruguayan player tried to make him cover.
But
guys, let's move on.